Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Mocktail Minutes. This is Bailey.
And this is Brianna.
This week I am drinking. It's another one of those Taki. I still don't know how to say this. I probably should have looked it up. The Taika drinks, but I am doing the mocha latte one plus adaptogens. I haven't
Right?
tasted it. We'll try it out.
Yeah. And like the coffee ones are hit or miss. I feel like
Ugh.
coffee, any flavor, hit or miss.
It's better. I would say it's better than the green. Which one was it? I tried the matcha. It's better than the matcha one. Maybe it's the macadamia milk I don't like. But it
Mm,
also has the ashwagandha in it again.
both those things are like earthy
Yeah, I'm not a big earthy person.
dirt flavor. Just is. You can't get away.
Uh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Boo. I'm just doing coconut water with a little sea salt and splash of orange juice.
There you go.
Yeah.
A little DIY adrenal cocktail.
Yeah, why? I always like anytime I go to Costco, I get their coconut water. And that's like my
Yeah.
go-to if I don't have something. Like, I just have coconut water. So
Yeah, I need to drink my electrolytes. I also just realized I had a protein coffee. Well, I used protein powder, coffee protein powder in my smoothie this morning. So this is my second caffeine source of the day. We're gonna be
yeah.
on a wild ride because I
Go get it.
usually don't even do any caffeine.
Yeah. Where it's like one of those things where you're like, all right, let's just see what this
Just,
brings.
just starting out.
Gonna
Yeah,
bring something. We'll see what it is.
we're gonna get a lot of things done today.
I like it. Productive.
Yes. Well, today we are talking about 75 day hard. Is it 75 hard? 75 hard. That's what it's called.
Yeah. 75
75
hard.
hard challenge.
Mhm.
But so if you haven't heard of it, it is basically a challenge that lasts 75 days. It basically involves you're going to follow this basically strict set of rules for that time period. And it's really designed not only for like physical changes, but also like mental changes for like mental toughness.
Yeah.
Part of the 75 challenge, well, I guess all parts of it. Number one, you follow a diet, and it doesn't matter what diet it is, but no cheat meals or alcohol.
Mhm.
And they recommend it to be structured toward your fitness goals. That's the first thing. Second thing, you are doing two workouts a day. So two 45 more workouts each day, and one of them has to be outdoors. They don't care if it's raining or snowing, there's a hurricane or a tornado. I mean, maybe a little lenient on the hurricane, but
But you got to start over.
yes,
So
you gotta start over.
either walk outside in the hurricane or start over.
The third thing, drink a gallon of water every day, which is about 3.7 liters, 128 ounces. Fourth, you're going to read 10 pages of a nonfiction self-development book daily. So ideally, you're focusing on self-growth, motivation, knowledge, kind of that mental aspect of everything. And then
Mhm.
you're taking a progress photo every day so that you can visually see your changes.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, it's a strict challenge, and like Brianna mentioned, you do have to restart, like if you mess up.
Yeah.
So
If
there's
you
that.
miss one thing, you restart and there's like an app and stuff that you can like track it. And so it was created by a guy who he's like an entrepreneur and he designed it for like mental toughness. So like I don't think it was ever supposed to be like a diet thing, but like people do it like to see like physical changes, stuff like that. But it's basically it's a challenge of mental toughness to see, can I do these really hard things for 75 days and like cool, like I mean it's feeding right into like just how we're designed as humans. We love challenges and we can do anything hard for a certain amount of time, but the problem, and we'll kind of go into it, and I guess we can just now, like things to consider, is it's not focused on sustainable habits. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with anything that it focuses on. I don't think that two workouts a day for 45 minutes is necessary, but I like that it's trying to get people to get outside more,
Yes.
incorporate walking, incorporate strength training, think about what you're eating, read a book, like drink your water, like do things that are good for you. I love it, but I almost think that it's so unsustainable that when people, because I know people who've done 75 hard multiple times, and my whole thing is like,
Yeah.
So you didn't keep any of those habits when you ended it. And in fact, a lot of people will be like, oh, I ain't working out for like the next 3 months because I worked out twice a day for 45 minutes for 75 days. And so I think it almost makes you form worse habits. Like it's not true habit change or behavior change. And then when you stop, you're like, I'm not doing any of that stuff. Or like, I didn't have alcohol for 75 days and that's all I've been wanting because I told myself I can't have it. And now it's like, I'm drinking every day. It's like, well,
And then I also see people like speaking of the alcohol where they like just stop doing things or because they're like, if I can't go out and have a drink or if I can't go grab ice cream with my family, like I'm just gonna stay home. And I don't think that is necessarily a healthy thing to do, just having to miss out on everything. Not to say that every time you go out you must have a drink, but I think if you're in that mindset where I can't go out because I can't have a drink or I can't go
yeah,
with my family because I can't have these things, it's going to be harder on you, not in a mental toughness type of way, but it's like a defeating thing.
yeah,
And I mean, if you can't tell already, I don't think 75 hard is in my future. I don't think Brianna's going to be doing it in the
ever.
future.
I think that like me, how I am as a person would love it. Be like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm going to do this. I can do it. Like, let me prove you. But I would not be in a healthy mindset doing it, right? Nor
Mhm.
do I think I would enjoy it. Like, I think if I was forced, like for a lot of people, if they're forced to do 2 workouts a day, it's not creating a good relationship with it. You're not going to like it,
Yeah.
and like that's way more important. The majority of women, I'm just trying to get them to enjoy movement. I don't want to make
Mhm.
them hate it more, and so I think it just is like, it's always a reason behind it. Why, right? Yeah, if I'm going to go out and I'm going to choose not to drink, okay, I want it to be because I have certain goals. I don't want it to be because like I can't. Because as soon as you put the I can't do something, you're just like, as a human, like, well, when can I? When can I?
Mhm.
Instead of just building this good habit where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to drink this month.
Yeah, like you said, we form those negative thoughts around all of these habits that aren't necessarily bad in and of themselves.
Mhm.
But yeah, we learn to hate working out. We learn to hate meal prepping and meal planning, and it feels more of a chore. So then after those 75 days, that's exactly why you don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Where if you learn how to subtly include this into your life, you slowly make changes, you find what works for you. Like I personally, I mean, I can, but I'm choosing not to make time for two 45-minute workouts per day. It's just not in my
Yeah.
cards right now. I don't want it to be in my cards. Not happening.
Right.
So you have to decide what is going to work for you at the end of the day. And what I often find with 75 hard, exactly what you're saying, we do it for 75 days and then day 76, it's like everything is out the window slowly but surely, even though it wasn't really meant to be like a weight loss thing. People are naturally losing weight because, yeah, you're moving a lot more. You're probably eating a lot better than what you were.
You're like,
You're
yeah, you're
cooking
not doing
more
a
at
ton of
home.
sugar. It
Yeah,
makes
you're getting better sleep. Like all of these things are falling in line, but you didn't learn how to truly live your life. And when
sense.
you can learn how to implement your favorite things and still lose weight, that's when it becomes a lot easier because
Yeah.
you're not constantly in that battle with yourself. So if you are like looking into 75 hard, some things we want you to consider. Number one, it's not focused on sustainable habits. That's kind of it. And it really just comes back to the idea that you have to start over.
One thing I think that I really hate about it because it's like,
Yes.
you could get to day 65
Yeah.
and say something crazy happened, you're sick, something like family members in the hospital. Well, start over. It's like, what? That's so
Right.
defeating. And then
Yes.
it feeds into that mental talk of, and I think that's why it's like mental toughness, whatever, of like, I suck. I can't do things. I
Uh-huh.
can't get things done. And like, we already have that. I'm gonna tell you that. Like, people already are like, I can't do
Yeah.
that.
We already think we suck.
Yeah. No one's like, I'm amazing. Maybe. But for the most part, people are like, I suck. The other thing is it doesn't focus on like intake. So like no specific intake. So you kind of choose the diet you want to follow. Like some people will do like a Whole30, some people will do keto, some people will do, low carb, whatever it is, but it doesn't focus on it gives no guidance of like calorie intake, kind of macro intake, what you should be doing for effective weight loss. And again, I don't think it was meant to be a weight loss thing, but so many people, the majority of people are using it for weight loss.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever see someone who's like, I want to start a business, so I'm going to do this mental toughness 75 hard challenge. No, it's everyone who's like, I want to lose weight. I want to kickstart my weight loss. So I don't think it's very effective. And that's one thing that I already think people struggle with. So just being like, follow this really hard diet for 75 days. Sure, at first they might see results, but we don't know what the heck they're doing. Like 75 days of what? Are you going extremely low carb for 75 days? Because that's going to bite you in the butt for the 75 days after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And if you don't know what your body needs, it's going to be harder to choose, okay, what is the right diet for me? Not in a dieting type of way, but like diet as just like what are you eating every day?
Yeah.
So that's where having help, aka dietitians, can be super helpful. But yeah, just to have some guidance on, okay, what exactly are we eating here? So that way
Mhm.
you can get the results you want, but you're also not like killing yourself to get those results. And
Yeah.
with that, I would say the other thing, there's risk of overdoing it on the workout,
Yes.
especially if you're under eating. Now we're working out twice a day, 45 minutes. It can be a pretty big stressful experience on the body. You're
Yeah.
going to probably get more fatigue. It can actually lead to injury. It's going to lead to burnout. So if
Yeah.
you're too exhausted and you're getting injured from these exercises for these 75 days, it's going to be even harder to sustain that because day 76, you're like, I am not stepping foot into the gym or my
No.
basement, wherever those weights are, you will not find me there.
And it doesn't give you any rest days. And true
Yeah.
training, you're supposed to have rest days to actually get the benefits of training. You should have rest days. And so I get the whole think about movement every single day. Great. We could be doing movement, but the fact that it's like you needed to be doing 2 workouts every single day for 75 days straight, risk of injury, especially because the majority of people I see doing this are like women who are like in a postpartum state or women
Hmm.
haven't worked out in a very long time. And I'm like, that's
Yes.
insane. Like, this is not what we want to be doing. This is not benefiting you to go and risk hurting yourself. And even a well-trained person, 75 days straight of no rest is not even going to be beneficial to them.
That's where to, like, if you are someone who has done 75 hard, you've completed it, and now you're like, okay, I want you to know if you are able to do that, you can absolutely eat blood sugar balancing meals. You can strength train 2 to 4 times a week. You
Mhm.
can 20-minute power walk every day. It's going to be a lot easier on your body. But I think where it becomes intimidating is like, how many days do I do this? Well, you do this forever.
Forever.
There's not an end zone.
We do. We
You
do it all the
eventually
time. This is
die.
like our daily habits, which, you take something like 75 hard. It's like one of the hardest challenges, right? Like that's what it's known for. And it's like, well, now we're taking all these things we should be doing every day in a moderate amount and we're making it seem very unattainable.
Hmm.
That doesn't help because, yeah. And then because when someone hears, oh, I should be walking 20 minutes every single day forever, it's like, they always want to know, like, what's the end goal? Like, when can I not? It's like, well, no, you always should, but
I had someone ask me what was it, yesterday? He was like, how do you live with your brain focusing on all of these pieces and knowing as much information as you know? And I was like, I never really
it's a
thought
great
about
question.
my brain that way. And I was like, I do feel like at times it can be overwhelming with the amount of knowledge that's in here
Yeah.
because you're constantly thinking about all the things. And then, yeah, there are some times where, like, if I have a piece of cake, I'm like, ugh, my blood sugar is all out of whack. This is not great. But I don't want to leave my family to, like, go on a walk. So it's like things like that. I mean, they still do pop up in my head just because I know what's happening in my body. Or, I mean, there is a little bit, I would say, a tiny stress response when I go eat away from the house and it's like not my typical meal. It's
Yeah.
more carbohydrate heavy, not a lot of vegetables. But I'm also not going to sit there and not eat and cause like a big scene over give me vegetables. So I will
Right.
say, yeah, those things I do think about. But when it comes to like putting meals together, getting movement in, the stress, while it can seem like a lot of things that you're doing, once you do it consistently, becomes habit. It's just a part of your life. And I think that's why I don't like realize how much I do think about it, maybe because it's always been there. I mean, I guess for the past 3 years, this is what I've been working on for my metabolic health. It's
Yeah.
just always been there. So it's just part of my brain now, and not in like a stressful way or a way that I'm always thinking about, oh my gosh, how can I move more? I mean, I am, but it's not, it's not like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like
Yeah,
a constant.
it becomes like these are habits that I have. How to, because I always tell people you're already doing habit and
You're just
routine.
adjusting how you're doing
Yeah.
them. It's
Hmm.
almost like it becomes your personality, where like someone who is naturally a funny person, they're not really having to plan out their jokes like
Yeah,
all day long. Then they're not funny.
right. They just kind of do. It's kind of like that thing, right? You could think about it. It's all like those jokes of like, POV, you married the family that gets up and does a 5K on Thanksgiving, and your family's a family that starts their day with mimosas. Like, it's just a thing. When you start to think,
Yeah.
like, I'm someone that moves my body, I'm someone that's mindful of what I eat, I'm someone that really prioritizes sleep, and I like to take care of my like self, my mental health. It's just something you start doing, and it doesn't feel so much of like a to-do list. And I think that's where people get stumped. And we've talked about that before. It feels like, okay, this is all the stuff I have to do. How am I going to fit it in all in a day? Whereas when you do this slow habit change over time, it just becomes something that you get done without thinking about it, because we're already eating, we're already sleeping, we're already doing things. It just becomes a difference in how you do it. And
Hmm.
again, I think 75 hard kind of takes that away because it makes it feel like this is your to-do list for the next 75
Yes.
days, and then you don't have to think about it again. The next would be the mental strain. And that's kind of what you were talking about, of like probably what someone
Hmm.
is asking you, like, how do you think about all this stuff? How do you do it? Again, it helps you to develop that all or nothing mindset, or just amps it up, because I feel like the majority of us are like that. Like, we want to be able to be like, I could do hard things if I know it's going to stop.
Do anything for 30 days or whatever it is. It makes it easier. Where if it's like, I can do anything for the rest of my life, it's like, ooh, can I
Yeah.
do anything for the rest of my life? How much life do I still have to live? And it's,
Then I tell people you're already doing it, right? You're
yep.
already being that person that's like, I drink whenever I want. I sleep 5 hours every single day of my life. Like, I don't balance work and like life. Like, I already, like, we're already doing this, but for some reason, the habits that make you feel better always feel hard. And I think it's just how, I think honestly, diet culture has done a really good job at just screwing that up for everyone. Because like
Yeah.
100 years ago, people enjoyed moving their body, being outside, like not stressing about nutrition. Now we do it so much.
Yeah. It's almost like we've made things too easy where we don't have to use our brain for a lot of things, that it's like it seems hard to do, like walking. Like
Yeah.
it seems hard to do something we were born, like we get so excited when kids walk.
Yeah.
Then as adult we're like, ugh,
Never walk
walk.
again. We take it for granted until we can't walk,
Yeah.
right? And we're like, you don't think about those things. So I think,
And
again,
it
just making something be a challenge, like you're just taking advantage of all the great things that you could already be doing.
yeah, even like stress, for example, stress management is something that I find many people are resistant to doing the things that actually helps decrease your stress and
Mhm.
manage it and build your stress capacity. But you are already doing something to manage your stress.
Yeah.
You're drinking because you had a long day. That's what you're doing to manage your stress. That's just not a productive way
Yep.
to handle it. So let's be
Mhm.
more productive with our life.
Yeah.
So, with all that, if you are thinking about doing 75 hard, there are a few things we want you to consider.
Mhm.
Number one, I want you to know why you're doing it. Ask yourself why you want to do 75 hard. Is this for weight loss? Okay, well, is this going to be too extreme? Is it actually going to work with you? Is it for mental toughness? Is it for like discipline? Maybe that would be a better fit, but maybe tweak some things. I mean, while there are rules, there's
You don't have to
no
follow
one's
this.
enforcing these.
Who
Make the
created
tweak.
this? Andy Frisella. You don't have, he's not the god of
He's
like
not,
mental toughness or
yeah,
discipline.
he's not checking in on you.
He doesn't
He's not.
care.
He does not care. He's not checking in on you. Know why you're doing it, and kind of along with that, consider what is going to be sustainable beyond 75 days.
So what?
Is it something you want to do when you're 50, 60, 70 years old? Is it something you're going to want to do on day 76? If you if you're like going to this like, oh my gosh, it's so different, it's like a completely turning my world upside down, then it's probably not going to be the best approach for lasting change. So I want you to consider something that's actually sustainable 100
Mhm.
days from now, 300 days from now, 5 years from now, all the years from now until you
Yeah.
die.
The next thing would be assess your fitness level. Are you someone who's just getting back into working out? Are you someone who works out all the time? And think about like realistically what can be sustainable for me. How am I not going to have injury? How am I going to improve my relationship with exercise or fitness or movement? Because that is much more important. Again, on day 76, are you going to get up and go for that walk? Are you going to get up and go work out? If you're just counting down the days, not great. But really think like, I don't want to have burnout. I don't want to have energy. And then also your rest and recovery. So, again, I always tell people like, I ask them, like, what's the end goal? Right. Because it's cool if you can not rest for 75 days, but is your goal fitness? Is your goal strength? Is your goal improving your body? If it is, you need rest. You need to do it correctly. So, maybe
And
not.
honestly, yeah, like if you're strength training for 7 days a week, you're not strength training hard enough to build really good muscle.
No, you're not. There's no way you could be doing that. And that's a good point. So, again, what's the end goal? Diet flexibility. Are you going to be focusing on some crazy diet that's kind of hard just so you could be like, yeah, I did 75 days without added sugar or 75 days of no carb or whatever it is? Or are you going to focus on nourishing your body? Because, again, similarly to fitness, people have a horrible relationship with nutrition, with their food, with their habits around food, right? And so thinking about like, I want to take the next 75 days and really improve my habits. Maybe I want to be someone that cooks more at home. I want to be more mindful of what I'm putting into my mouth. Great. Again, let's not make it worse, right? Let's not make it.
Yes. And then with that, consider your mental and emotional health. Is it really worth it to you to go through this mental toughness challenge? Is it actually going to be beneficial to you? Or is this something that's going to add, you're choosing to add this stressor to your life that can also lead to like a really negative relationship towards food and exercise, especially? So I want you
Mhm.
to consider your mental and emotional health. And last thing I would say, like, listen to your body, especially if you are like, nope, I'm still convinced this is for me. Okay, listen to your body. If you are physically feeling sick, but you're like, I have to get these 2 workouts in and you're pushing it, you're going to get overly fatigued. You're not going to feel good. Your body's going to be stressed out. You're going to tank yourself.
Right.
So listen to your body.
Think about like what's again the end goal. You cannot say, I'm improving my body. I want to focus on improving my body and becoming this better person if you're breaking down your body.
That
Right?
is true.
You gotta like, you're gonna be so much better. Forget it. Yeah, like it's just this weird concept, but
Yes.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, I don't think either of us will be joining you for 75 hard.
no.
There's part of it
No.
that I do like. There's part of it that I think are a little bit too extreme.
Mhm.
I will say there are better approaches.
If you're someone who's like, I do like challenges, I think this could kickstart my habits, or I want to be held accountable, great. Do like a 75 soft or take an aspect of each of the things. Cause again, like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think you need to take a picture of your body every day. That's a little weird, but you know, all the other stuff and be like, okay, how can I improve in this area? What can I do? Have it be small, set a challenge, great, a challenge that again, you can continue, but
Hmm.
we're just
Yeah.
obsessed with this extreme. That's like all we see is extremes. It's extreme one side or the other. And that's where people fail because it's the middle that gets everybody where they want to be.
Hmm.
But, you know,
Speaking of
my,
taking pictures of your body every day, I couldn't even do that like when I was pregnant, like every week. I've
yeah,
missed several weeks. So
I
yeah, I didn't get enough to do a full collage.
there was like such big
Yeah. It's like
gaps.
we missed, I think, like 6 weeks in a row. So it's like tiny and then whoop. And then it's funny to see like the first one we took was like, oh my gosh, I could see a bump, and there's like nothing there.
Nothing there. You look back and you're like, wait, what? I know I did that too. We're like, oh, look, I'm showing. And I look back like, girl.
Yeah. But I'm like, okay, in my defense, when you look down, it looks different than when someone's looking to the side. So it's like,
Yeah.
from my view, it looked like there is a bump. Yeah. And I don't know if we want to talk about this or not, but it's like we were discussing creating some type of something for January. So why don't we will put like a Google form, some type of form for everyone to fill out in the show notes to
Yeah.
let us know what type of program would you like? Like, do you want calls? Do you want Telegram? Do you want like a group chat style? Do you want pre-recorded videos? Do you want a workbook? What do you want from us? And what do you want out of it? Like, are you looking for consistency? Are you looking for weight loss? Are you looking for like meal planning tips? I don't care what you're looking for, just like let us know so that
Mhm.
we can create a program for you.
I
And we'll
like
put
it.
that link in the show notes if you can fill that out.
Yeah. Let's do it so that we can actually tailor something around what you guys want, not what I think everybody wants.
All right, everyone. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we will be back next week.
All
Bye.
right.